Carson Arthur is here.
That's one word for it. Yeah, major headaches.
But you're still in there and you're still trying them, which is what I love. So this one came in from Karen Robinson on Facebook. Take an old cloth, soak in cement water, drape over a stand, and leave in the sun to dry. That sounds so easy.
So easy.
It's so easy.
Not easy.
It's just you can make your own DIY planter, and it's just as simple as that.
Yeah, and I love the idea that Karen sent this to me saying, you know, cement planters are so expensive right now.
Yeah.
When you go to the store, they're at least $40 starting price. So she said this idea that she saw on social media seemed so easy. Why don't you try this, Carson?
Why don't you try it?
Yeah, well, that didn't work out quite right. So the first thing I learned is make sure you take your watch off before you play with cement. Yeah, I ruined a nice one recently, so we're going to start with that one. Yeah. The next thing I learned on this particular project, and here's what it looks like. You can see that it's got kind of that stone texture. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that's lovely.
I literally made this out of a washcloth. An old washcloth.
Is this an actual washcloth?
Yeah.
Is it?
That's actually a washcloth.
So you wrapped it in cement and it stayed like this?
Something like that.
Kind of.
Yeah, but it took several tries to
that.
get to this stage. So we're going to talk about what to do and what not to do to make this happen. Okay.
Cute.
So the first,
I like that it's organic looking. You know, like it looks like it's. Was that on purpose?
Yeah. No. That's part of the project. So
Okay,
that's actually good. And we've got a few around the table that all look nice and organic.
Yeah.
So the first thing I did wrong was I grabbed a piece of fabric like this, and it's an outdoor tablecloth.
Right.
What I forgot were outdoor tablecloths are treated.
Yes.
So the concrete doesn't really stick to this. So the first time I formed it, it got really loose and floppy and everything fell off.
Right.
And I ended up with a flat concrete planter, which isn't quite right. Yeah.
It's not going to hold anything.
The other thing to remember is this is a fairly big piece of fabric. When you do this process, start small. Do not go big because it gets really heavy really fast. Okay, so don't overestimate how big you want your planter.
Just start with a little square.
Start small, it's easy, and it honestly takes only 5 minutes.
5 minutes?
Yeah, this is really a quick process. So,
okay, so you got rid of this fabric.
So I got rid of this fabric.
Nothing's going to stick to that.
The other thing you want to remember is go circular. Okay. So I cut a circle out of this. This is an old liner for a bed. Can you feel it's got some texture to it? Yeah. So it's got some fabric which will hold the concrete. I went circular. If you go with a square, you end up with 4 peaks sticking out in weird random places. And it's kind of cool. This is an example right here. I'll show you. Pull this around. This is a peak of one of the squares. So you see how it kind of comes over like a flap. It's a look.
Yeah, it's a look.
You can definitely decide if this is going to work for you, but you don't have to. If you go circular, you get a nice even finish to it. Okay?
All right.
So that's something you have to think about ahead of time. Next, you're going to mix concrete. Now, Tracy, I feel bad because your nails look really, really nice right now.
Well, because I just got them done.
Yeah. So I'm going to mix the concrete so you don't have to do that.
I'm not going to do that on Sundays anymore. I'll just watch with gloves.
You learn. Well, no, I'm going to put you to work.
Okay.
Okay, so when you're mixing concrete, you want to think pancake batter.
All right.
Okay.
That I get.
This is plain old mortar. I got it at a box store. I got a huge bag for $5.
Oh, good.
Okay. So I'm going to get you to pour the water while I mix it. Just wait till I get another glove on here.
You got it.
Because it sticks to arm hair.
And it should be.
Yeah. I learned that the hard way too.
It should be mixed with your hands?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
And if you've got kids, this is the way to do it.
And do you need me to go slow?
No, keep going, keep going. Go slow because it powders up.
Okay, all right.
You're just going to keep going, keep going, keep going. A little faster.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I love that you're being so delicate with this.
I know, because, you know, it's concrete.
There's no, okay, that's probably pretty good. There's no wrong answer. So as you're mixing this up, you're thinking pancake batter for consistency.
Right.
So this is a little bit thick. As you can see, it's kind of got some thick chunks under there.
So you don't want it to be too chunky? Are you trying to get all the chunks out?
Well, and that's up to you. If you want a nice finished look.
Depends on how you like your pancakes.
Get the chunks out. If you don't,
like chunky stuff in it, then just leave it.
Then all you're going to do is take your piece of cloth. Once you've got it sort of about that consistency, take your piece of cloth, right in.
Okay.
Get it nice and coated. Like make a good mess.
One more thing about the cloth that you picked. It does have a little bit of texture to it. Does that work a bit better?
A looser weave. The concrete gets into the weave. That's what I found with the washcloth.
Okay.
With the fabrics that are designed for outdoors, the weave's so tight that it just doesn't actually work.
Nothing's going to penetrate
Once you kind of have it nice and coated and trying to get all that concrete in on that, you're going to take a bucket, and I have one here. You're going to take a bucket like this. You're going to throw it over, and you're going to throw the piece of fabric right over the top. Now, you're going to make sure that you get all the little spots treated with the extra concrete. And this is not rocket science. It's so simple. You're going to leave this for about 24 hours. It dries in place, and it ends up looking just like that.
So the size of the bucket is going to be the size of your planter.
Yeah, the size of your base.
Think about what you want your size of your planter to be, and I think that's great.
That's an easy one, right?
Can we give him a round of applause?
I got one figured out. So,
not
wanted to try it a different way.
Okay.
Okay. So I thought this was kind of cool. You know, it didn't take a lot of effort. Let's try something else.
Okay.
So this is another option that I did.
Oh,
now
that's
feel
nice.
this one. It's got a stone effect to it.
Yeah.
This is the plastic throwaway pot from one of these plants.
Smart.
Yeah, and I coated this with a product. Now I coated it with Stone Effects. And I'm
Okay.
going to show you how to do this. This is Stone Effects, and it is actually just a stone feel with glue.
Okay.
So literally, you're going to turn your pot upside down.
Yeah.
Messy, cheap. You know, a lot of people email me saying, "What can I do with these? I can't recycle them at the
That's
store
true.
anymore."
Yeah.
Honestly, you just take this stuff and you see like that,
And spackle it on.
and spackle it on. You're icing a cake, and
Oh,
there's no
nice.
wrong way to do it.
Yeah.
Again, this took me to do the whole thing about 5 minutes. It dried in less than 8 hours.
Okay.
The more texture you leave on the sides, the better it looks.
So the more you get that bumpiness to it.
And literally, you can see there's the plastic pot on the bottom.
Perfect.
Now, when you're doing these planters, there's a couple of things you're going to have to remember.
Okay.
When you're planting in concrete and you're watering it, the concrete will naturally break down. So you may want to seal it first.
Okay.
If you go this route,
point.
it's already pre-sealed.
Right.
So you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, yeah.
The other thing that you're going to remember is the concrete will leave a bit of a stain on your deck or patio.
Oh.
So make sure to seal the bottom, not just the inside, to prevent that staining.